How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here, and in this video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. We're also going to be talking about, and I want to share with you all, the top couple of stocks and ETFs that I'm personally watching and looking to trade right now as we're officially in the year of 2020. And on that note, Happy New Year's, everybody. Hope you all had a fantastic and safe New Year's Eve yesterday. Hope you all had an amazing 2019 and take that positive energy and bring it into 2020 with new ambitions, new goals, health, wealth, prosperity, all of that good stuff. Hope you all absolutely crush it in 2020. And all I ask from you guys is if you enjoy this video, simply go down below and hit that like button for me and consider subscribing if you want to see further content from me, and also join our Discord group chat and our Facebook group linked down below in the description box, 100% free of charge. So let's kick off this video right now, starting off here with the S&P 500, the 500 largest publicly traded U.S. companies, ticker symbol SPX. And as you guys can see here, this ended up closing the day yesterday, actually, because today, New Year's Day, the markets were closed. This closed yesterday up $9.49, up 0.29%. And if you guys have been paying attention to these markets in general, both of them, or rather all three of them, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow, very overextended. They've gotten very overextended over these past couple of weeks. Honestly, really ever since the beginning of December, we've gotten ridiculously overextended in these markets. Higher highs, all-time highs pretty much every single day, and we finally got that sell-off that is, in my opinion, a very healthy sell-off. And you guys can see it here even closer on this 20-day, 1-hour chart. We went down from 32.47 all the way down to about 32, what was that, like 32.10, ultimately shaving about 37 points off of the S&P 500 before the S&P 500 ended up rallying towards the end of the market on Tuesday, which is a ridiculously bullish move if you guys see it on the daily chart, right? We can see we were downtrending for most of the day, right? You know, pretty much until the middle of the day, and then at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, we rallied from 32.17 all the way back up to 32.31, and on the 5-day, 5-minute, that actually broke us out of the moving averages completely, right? That little rally towards the last half of the day. We broke above the EMA, the 50 SMA, and that 180 SMA, which all were moving averages that were acting as resistances over these past 2.5 days of trading. So that's a very bullish move there, in my opinion, on the S&P 500. And back to that 4-hour chart, or rather on the 2-hour chart, you can clearly see we held that 50 SMA as a support at a higher low, and we broke that EMA, looking like we're continuing this uptrend, right? And back on the 4-hour chart, we can see it as well. This seems to be continuing. So what am I going to watch for in terms of the market tomorrow? Well, I want to see what are large caps doing in the morning. What are the market futures doing in the morning? Because if these are pushing up, let's say the ES, which tracks the S&P, it's an E-mini S&P 500 index futures. You know, these are open during the night pre-market, so we can see what's going on with the S&P. You know, if these are up, that's going to indicate a potential green rally for the S&P tomorrow. And of course, if the large caps are up in the morning, that could indicate that as well. So overall, it seems like the bulls are in charge here on the S&P after this dip. Seems like they are taking over and bringing this thing back up. So going over to the Dow Jones, guys, we can see the same thing pretty much happened. We got really overextended. We hit all-time high after all-time high after all-time high until we got up to about 28,700, and from there we've sold off to about 28,300, about a 350 to 400 point correction. And since that point, we held, what level is this? About 28,300 as a support, and it seems like we're rallying from there, breaking above the EMA on this 4-hour chart. Now, if we zoom in a bit to the hourly chart, you can see see, we haven't quite yet broken above that 50 SMA, which I'd need to see that for the full-on breakout. But the fact that, again, we did hold up 28,300, we broke that EMA, seems like we found a bottom here on, the 5-day, 5-minute chart as well. That's a pretty good sign. And the fact that we are breaking above, all the moving averages on the 5-day, 5-minute, just like the S&P, these are signs that are telling me, yeah, the bulls are taking over. There's, more upside, in my opinion, based on these technicals alone. And coupled with, large caps being up, and let's say the Dow Jones futures are up tomorrow as well, this thing could rally even further, right? And I kind of do expect that to happen, at least as of now, guys. And of course, we'll make a video tomorrow talking about what did end up happening in these markets. So breaking down the NASDAQ here, we can see the same thing happen. And like I've mentioned in these videos, I think the NASDAQ was the most overextended out of the bunch in terms of the three major markets I track on this channel. And in terms of the NASDAQ, we went from 88.43 all the way down to about 87.16, opening up around a 1.4% correction before it ended up finding support on that 50 SMA and ultimately breaking above the EMA, signaling to me this thing is continuing the uptrend and the bulls are taking charge again, guys. And if we look here on the 5-day, 5-minute, clear breakout, from these moving averages, the 180, the 50, and the EMA, all of these were acting as resistances. Now we're clearly breaking out of them, as well as that downtrend that I just drew using this red trend line, and that's good for the bulls as well. So overall, you can't deny these markets saw the correction, and it wasn't a big correction, guys. It was a 1.5 correction, but sometimes that's all the market needs before it continues to rally up and move stronger. And it seems like that's exactly what's happening right now. I'd love to know what you guys have to think about that down below in the comments section, but it seems like this thing's tuning up. All of these markets, honestly, especially the S&P, these things are tuning up for more all-time highs. So drop that comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that, and let's jump into a couple of stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now, and some of these I actually already own, and I'm looking to add more money into them. So let's talk about NIO first, because NIO was in the title of today's video, and you guys saw in the title, can NIO continue this rally? Can NIO move past this $5 level of resistance that seems to be the next barrier before we could potentially test maybe $6, $7, and maybe even get back eventually to where the stock IPO'd, if you guys remember, which was back, I believe, in, am I wrong, maybe the $13 range? Am I right on that? We'll see. Let me take a look on the 3-year 1-week chart. Yeah, it was around 13. I don't know if it IPO'd there, but eventually it did get to around 13 before falling all the way to $1.19. So let's talk about this, my opinions on that, and kind of my plans with NIO. As you guys know, I'm already in NIO, and I showed you guys my gains in the previous video, which I'll link down below if you guys have not seen that video quite yet. So overall on NIO stock, we can see it's been an absolute disaster ever since this point in time. Really, ever since it IPO'd, it was downhill from $13 to $5, and in these past 6 months, it's gone from $5 down to about $1.16. But ever since it got this little Mobileye deal with Intel, we got those earnings, I believe on Monday, 2 days ago on Monday, we got some delivery numbers, this new SUV that's coming out. All these different things have been slowly pushing the stock up. I believe the Intel deal pushed it up during this time period slowly. Then obviously the earnings, the delivery numbers, and that new car that just came out, or should I say SUV, that's what ended up pushing the stock in these past 48 to 72 hours up from around $2.50 all the way up to around almost $5 per share, about $4.85 to be exact. And with this very bullish move, we've broken above $3, which was a strong level of resistance from a couple weeks ago, right? Months ago, rather, should I say. We also broke above $3.90 to about $4, which also was a resistance. So we ran through the whole channel from $3 to $4 in the matter of a day, which is absolutely insane, right? And we actually almost rallied again, like I said, all the way up to $4, or rather $5, which would have broken us out of this channel as well. But ultimately, we're in this channel now from about $4 to about $4.50, as you guys can see on this 4-hour chart. And if I zoom in a bit here to the 5-day, 5-minute, we can see this seems like it's tuning up right now for another potential breakout. And that is because we are holding $4. This is very, very big in my opinion for NIO stock, because if it were to break $4, this could definitely sell back off maybe to $3.70, which was that level that we got to towards the end of the day on Monday, or maybe all the way back down to about $3.50 per share, which does happen to be a level that really is a support from a couple of weeks ago / months ago as well. So the fact that we held $4, this is very good in my opinion. So now we need to see some sort of gap up, and this is kind of what I'm watching tomorrow to really see if this thing is going to continue its breakout. Let's say we're up immensely pre-market, 5, 10, 15%, whatever it may be, kind of like we were on Tuesday pre-market. That could signify that we're pushing up here. $4.20, $4.30, and maybe back up to that $4.50 level that we ultimately need to test and break for this thing to move to the next level, which would be $5 per share. So at this point, guys, we're trending between $4 and $4.50. For me to see a higher high and more upside for NIO on a technical basis, which honestly, guys, I think will happen with all of this good news that's really behind NIO at this point, we're going to need to see $4.50 break. We're going to need to see a $4.80 break, and ultimately a push into the $5 range, should I say. And at that point, from $5, if we go back to this 1-year chart, there's a lot more room for it to run. From $5, let's say it could go up to maybe, $5.50 is a level. We can see that right here, $5.50. Even, $6.50 is another level, and that offers a lot more potential for the stock. And think about it. There's a lot of negatives with NIO. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's a stock or a business that could go bankrupt in the matter of the next couple of weeks, months, and let's say it gets funding from a big company. It already has a big investment from Tencent. Let's say it gets another big investment from one of these Chinese companies, maybe the Chinese government, for example. That could be something that investors would like. I personally would love that, because that means, the company is getting cash, so it won't go bankrupt. That's a really good sign for any investor and for anybody that wants to hold a speculative stock like this. And what could that do? That could end up spiking the stock in it of itself. Just a simple investment, funding from an outside company, or maybe even the government. So in the short term, guys, could this cool off? Maybe a little bit. I'd watch for that $3.50 level if we do end up breaking $4. But ultimately, I think $4, if it holds, we'll be able to rally back up to $4.50 and then some on NIO. So sit tight, relax, in my opinion. And this is my opinion again. If you guys are just trading on my opinion, that's stupid. Do your own research. This is simply a channel where I document my experience and share with you all what I'm personally thinking I'm doing. And that does not mean that you guys have to do that as well. And I truly believe that there could be more upside, which is why I have not sold my shares for a profit, guys. I'm up right now like 20-30% on my position. I was up way more on Monday, did not sell out, because I do think we could end up getting to the $5 plus range here on NIO. So the next stock that I'm watching here in 2020 is going to be Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. And this is another one that's been hot, right? Just like NIO, this has been a very hot stock from 130 all the way up to 240 in the matter of about 6-7 months. That's a pretty massive move for Nvidia. And take a look at what happened here over these past couple of trading days. We actually got rejected at 240, which is a resistance that you guys can see here on the 3-year 1-week chart. And we actually got pushed down all the way to about 230, which opened around, let's see, what is that? Like, a 4 or 5% potential for profit, and actually now we're at 235, so it's a bit trimmed down from that, around 2%. But the fact that we broke out of these moving averages on the 5-day, 5-minute, that gives me the sign that it's continuing the uptrend, breaking out of this temporary downtrend, which, although it did eat into the profit, I like the confirming sign of that, and I don't mind if it ate into the potential profit, because this gives me a more comfortable feeling getting into this, since it broke out of the downtrend, if that makes any sense. It shows more confirmation than, let's say, if it were right here or downtrending below 230. So the fact that that's showing a breakup, that is a good sign in my personal opinion. And if we go back to that 3-year, 1-week chart at 235 here, guys, I think ultimately if we break 240, this thing could run up to 250. 250 would be the next target, and that's kind of where I'd like to complete a swing trade in Nvidia. So from 230 up to 250, although it's hopping out off the screen a bit here, you can see it's around a 5% potential for profit. So I'm going to set an alert on Nvidia, let's say at about 237. 236.50 maybe. We'll set that alert. If that breaks, that's showing me and telling me that we're popping above, what is it, the 50 SMA here on the 20-day 1-hour chart, which is going to be where I'd like to initiate a position. Then ultimately a break above 240 is where I'd like to add more of the position here for Nvidia. So the next one is Facebook, and this is one that I'm actually in. I'm down a little bit on this position actually, guys, because I got in a couple days ago, excuse me, at about 206.50 if I remember correctly, right around here. So I'm down a little bit on that position, but the fact that these markets turned around on Tuesday, you guys saw that from the pull down, right? We saw the pull down in the markets, which brought down Facebook and a bunch of other stocks, right? And now as the markets are rallying back up, Facebook is holding that 50 SMA, breaking above this 205 level of resistance on this 4-hour chart, and it's ultimately showing a bullish sign that it wants to fill all the way back up to 210, right? So from 205 up to 210, 211, that's around a 3.5% potential for profit, and that is where I'm ultimately looking to capitalize on Facebook stock. And you guys know, or maybe not everybody knows, but some of you know that Facebook's all-time high is at $218 per share. So we could actually go even higher from 210, maybe to 220. So from 205 to 220, that could be a very solid move that I think is extremely possible, especially if these markets in general continue to rally, continue to hit all-time highs. I think Facebook should have no problem getting to 220, which could be around a 6 to 7, maybe even an 8% move in the stock, which is a very, very good move for a swing trader, and at least me, and I'm a swing trader mostly, guys. So that is kind of what I'm looking at in terms of Facebook, ticker symbol FB. The other one that I want to talk about here is Uber, ticker symbol UBER. This is also one that I'm holding, and I'm slightly down on the position, very, very small, red right here, maybe down like 0.5%, something like that. And this is mostly because we got rejected by 31. The market sold off. That actually brought Uber down quite a bit, a couple percentage points from that $31 peak. Let's take a look. Yeah, about 3-4%. But ultimately, we're still holding the uptrend here, as you guys can see on the hourly chart. We're still holding the uptrend, and you can see that on many time frames. On the, let's say, 4-hour chart, you guys can see we're still holding, the overall uptrend. Let me just clear this drawing set to show you guys a bit clearer. We're holding that uptrend, holding that 180 SMA, and it seems like we are finding a temporary bottom here at around 29.50. And if we go back out to that 4-hour chart, you guys can see 28.90 was actually a level of support from a couple months ago, back here towards the end of September to the beginning of October. So the fact that we actually sold off to that point, I believe on either Monday or Tuesday, and we held that point, and it seems like this could be a higher low based on this little price action we're seeing, that's a good sign here for Uber to continue rallying. So me personally, I'm in, I think, around like 30, maybe 30-20, 30-30, something like that, and the goal is to swing it up to around 33 bucks. That's my personal sell target, which does give me around, I'd say, close to a 10% potential for profit, more like 10-12%. And like I've mentioned in these videos, there's even more potential above that level of 33 bucks, because you guys can see, this thing's gone from 47 bucks all the way down to about 25 bucks. So if we break 33, there's still a lot of potential for this maybe to go back up to 35 bucks, maybe 36, 37, and that's kind of what I'm watching here for Uber, ticker symbol UBER. The next one that I want to talk about is another one that I'm personally in, and it's finally showing a breakup here after a couple of days, maybe even 2 weeks of consolidation here, and it's ATV, guys, ticker symbol ATVI. And if we pull up that 1 year, not the 1 year, the 1 hour chart, you guys can see what type of consolidation I'm talking about. Ever since the middle of December, the 12th to be exact, we hit 59 bucks. We really haven't cracked above 60 quite yet. We really have been hovering around 59, 59.50, and now we're finally starting to break up here. As you guys can see, after hours, we actually got to about 59.70. So if we break into the $60 level on ATV, this is where I'm looking to maybe add more to my position, because it does have a lot of potential, in my opinion, from around 60 bucks to around $62 per share. And let me share with you all why I'm saying that. And you can see here, this is why, because from 59, 56 bucks, there's a big gap up level to around 62.50 that offers around a 3 to 4% potential for profit. And you can see that even better here on the 3-year 1 week chart. Ever since we tanked from 85 down to about 42 bucks, these have all become levels that we kind of need to break out of before we get back to that all-time high. And this really does allow us as swing traders and shorter term traders to make money on the way back up, and it really does seem like ATV is making its way back up here. So the next one that I'm watching, and another one that I'm personally in, is PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL, and this is really one that I started buying in the 104 level, 105. My average cost right now is about 106, 107, I believe, right around there. I took some profits at about 108, and now it seems like it's finally pulled down to a healthier RSI spot. RSI went from 68 to about 37, and we pulled down in terms of the stock from around 110 to about 108. And the fact that we closed above 108, that's a good sign, because 108 is a strong level of resistance on PayPal. And now this is where I want to capitalize on the stock, from around 108 up to around 111, 112. That's around a 3 to 4% potential for profit. Again, I already locked in some profits. I'm green on the stock as it is. If we get to this point, that's probably where I'll cut out completely of the position. And don't get me wrong, there's more potential on top of that, right? Above 112, we could maybe go to 116. That could be an extra, 4 or 5% potential. So keep an eye on this, guys. Healthy pull down. Our side came down a bit. We're holding 108, which is an old resistance, as a new support. A lot of potential here, even back up to 110. That's a 2% potential. So PayPal, PYPL, I'm liking this one heading into 2020, and I might even get some call options on this one. I've been thinking about it in my Robinhood account, maybe, and I'll let you guys know, and I'll make a video on that if I end up doing so. So a couple more stocks here, two in particular that did quite well in the whole MJ space, and you guys know what I mean by MJ. Don't want to get demonetized by YouTube. This whole space, it seems like, crushed it, I believe, on Monday and Tuesday. You guys can see here, actually, was it just on Tuesday? I think it was just on Tuesday. CGC here, Canopy Growth, went up 12.2%, up $2.3 per share here on Tuesday, which is insane. And if you guys don't know, the marijuana, no, YouTube, I did not say that. MJ, the MJ stocks, they've been getting crushed over the past couple of months, right? CGC, the other one we'll talk about, ACB, these have been squashed. So the fact that we're seeing some positive price action here on CGC, that's a good sign, and it's worth watching in my opinion, especially since we're testing that same level of resistance where we've literally gotten rejected at once, twice, 3, 4, and now 5. We didn't get rejected quite yet. This is the 5th time we're testing it. But if we do get rejected, it'll be the 5th time in the past month and a half, 2 months that CGC has failed to break above 2150, which is why I have that alert at 2150, because I want to buy shares if we do gap up above that, because from there, I think a lot of buyers will come in, a lot of, pressure to the upside that could get us to the next resistance, which is around $23 per share, as you guys can see here on the chart, which will give us probably another 8 to 10% potential. And even if we break above that, we'll have more than 10%, roughly a 15% potential on CGC. Another one that's not looking as promising, because it's still downtrending, to be quite honest, is ACB, which was up 25 cents, up 13%. But still, this is not looking as great because we're still under the 50 SMA and the 180 SMA. So for me to even consider trading ACB, I need to see a 50 SMA break and a potential gap fill from the 50 SMA up to the 180 SMA, which would take the stock maybe from $2.20 up to around 260, which would give us around, let's say, a 15 to a 20% potential for profit. So the last one I want to talk about here, guys, is Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, and this is one of those stocks that I mentioned in, I think it was my last video, as one of those stocks that you have to consider buying up any type of dip because of the way the price action has been. This price action, it's been ridiculously bullish in every single micro pull down, whether it's 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever it may be. It seems like it's rallied higher from that point. Some other stocks like this are Apple, which it seems like every dip buy, you made money over the past year. Microsoft, every dip buy, you made money. Baba is one of those stocks that it's at a dip right now, guys, and the markets are rallying back green. So this is very, very interesting. That actually offers a pretty healthy amount, about 3%. That's good, from around 212 up to 218. And this thing could continue rallying here, guys, especially on more positive news around the China, USA trade war, trade deal, up to 220. That could be 4%, even higher, could be 5%. So watch Baba. Any weakness, again, has proven to be a buying point, and I'm definitely thinking about buying up some Baba here, and I'll let you guys know about that in the next video. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see that and further market breakdowns like this and stock breakdowns like this. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end off the video here. If you enjoyed it, feel free to go down below, hit that like button for me. I would really, really appreciate that. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. Go hit that like button and consider subscribing again if you want to see further market breakdowns, stock breakdowns like this, and also drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts about anything involving this video, individual stocks, your plans, the markets in general. I'd love to know. And if you guys want 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 from Webull, I actually have an affiliate link down below where if you deposit $100 into that Webull account, you'll get 2 free stocks, no strings attached, valued up to $1,400 for free, which is absolutely insane. And I do believe this deal is running out in the next couple of weeks, so don't wait on that. Go get your 2 free stocks right now, linked down below. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, it means a lot to me. Happy New Year again. Peace out.